These 11 cars you see here today on this board, they were actually sold in Durban this week at an auction by Aucor auctions. Well, I'll put the pictures on the video so you can actually see for yourself. Ask you that you subscribe to the channel, YouTube, then you're gonna see more videos of auctions that are taking place. The first car that I'm looking at is a 2021 VW T-Cross. All right, this car had a trade value of 327,000 rand. Basically, this car here, as you can see actually on the picture here, all the details are basically on that picture. I'm just looking on my screen here. It had a trade of 327,800 rand. It sold for 175,000 rand, excluding other costs. So when you include your buyer's commission of 10,500 rand, your documentation fee of 2.6, this car came to 188,000 rand before VAT, and then you add VAT of 28,000 rand. The car sold for 216,315. All right, so this car in total, if you include all its costs, it sold at 66% of trade. 66% of trade. And basically the person that bought this car saved 111,000 rand on the trade value of the car, not on the retail. Remember, the retail is always higher than the trade. So if you were to compare what this person paid versus the retail, which is what they would have likely paid if they bought the car from a dealership, the saving is even bigger. Okay, so basically this person bought this car at what, 34% discount if they bought it at 66% of trade. So these are things that are possible when we actually at an auction. As I said, this is a 2021 car. It's got a mileage of, let me see, the mileage was 84,000. 84,000 was the mileage. Okay, the second car that I want us to look at was a BMW. It's a 2019. Where is this car? It is number 8 here. It's BMW 330i. Okay, with a mileage of 49,287. That's the mileage on that vehicle. The car had a trade value of 311,000 rand. 311 was actually the trade on this car, and it sold for 180,000 rand. 180 excluding the other cost. So if you add all the other costs, which is your buyer's commission of 6% and the documentation fee of 26 and the VAT, the car ended up selling for 222,410. So this person saved 88,000 rand, or got this car at 72% of trade, not of retail. The car retails for about 366,000 rand. So if we're looking at retail and what the person paid, basically they saved more than 100,000 rand. Okay, that is actually the second. So these are things that are actually possible at the auctions. As I said, this auction was in Durban at Aucor at the workshop. That is where these cars were actually sold. The next car that I want to look at, it's a Toyota Yaris, 2019 Toyota Yaris 1.5 XI. I think I do have a video on my TikTok for that car when it's actually getting sold. Okay, this car basically had a trade value of 177,400. 177,400 was the trade value of the car, and it sold for a hammer price of, wait for it, 71,500. 71,500. You add all the costs, basically the total cost that this person paid was 85,215. 85,215, or they paid about 48% of the value of the car. Not necessarily the value, but the trade value of the vehicle. Alright, so this person on the trade alone, they saved about 92,000. 92,185, and the mileage on the car was 141,900. 141,900. So you see what is possible, guys, at the auction. If you go to the auction and you're looking for great deals, you become a hunter, you actually catch. If you're not a hunter, you're not going to catch anything. All right, so let's look at the next car. The next car was a Hyundai Venue. My Hyundai Venue, do I even have it on my board? Because if I don't have it, there it is. It is actually number 6. Okay, the Hyundai Venue a 1 liter GDI had a trade value of 218,800. 218,800. It sold for, yes, you correct, 115,000 rand. 115,000 rand was the hammer price. All right, 115,000 rand was the hammer price, and this was a standard bank car, so it had no buyer's commission. So in total, this car sold for 117,600 excluding VAT, and if you add VAT, it sold for 135,240, or 62% of that 218,000, which is basically a trade value. So this person saved about 83,000 rand, and this car had a mileage of only 58,000, only 58,481, and it was a 2021 Hyundai Venue. So you can actually see the numbers. Basically, you can see the numbers are actually pleasing. The next car I'm looking at is a Mercedes-Benz. This car, which is number 7, it's a Mercedes-Benz C200. It was a 2015 car. The trade value was 223,000. It sold for 100,000 on the dot. 100,000 on the dot. That was the hammer price. You basically add all the costs because there was no buyer's commission. It was also another standard bank car. It sold for 117,990. All right, or at 53% of trade. All right, the mileage of the car 143,907. This person saved 105,010 on the trade. On that car, they paid 117,000 for a Mercedes-Benz. Unbelievable. C200 for that matter. I saw another car selling at an auction, a C180, selling for 150,000 rand, excluding the other cost. So this person bought a C200, at least 60,000 rand cheaper than that C180. Okay, and that was also at an auction. So the next vehicle that I want us to look at is a Polo Vivo. A Polo Vivo. All right, this was a 2019 Polo Vivo 1.6 compact line with a trade value of 166,100, and it sold for 105,000 rand. 105 was the hammer price. The total cost was 123,740, or 74% of the trade, basically, if you include everything. Well, the auctioneer are going to calculate that percentage differently. They will calculate the percentage on 105,000 over 166. But I want to calculate it on the complete cost, because, you know, for you, if you're not a dealer, it doesn't help to actually calculate your percentage on the hammer price, because these other costs, in any case, they become your cost. You can't claim anything from SARS back. All right, so 74%, that's what they actually paid for the car, or they saved about 42,360, and the mileage on the car was 187 for 2024-22. Yes, and that was a VW Polo 1.6 2019, a compact line. All right, this was actually a hatch. Okay, well, what is the next car? The next car is another Hyundai. It's a 2017 Hyundai Tucson 2-liter premium. The trade on the car, it's this car here, which is number 3. This car sold for 110,500. It had a trade value of 221,000. Just looking at those figures alone, you can see that the hammer price is actually like half of what this car is actually, the trade of this car is. All right, it's like half of what the trade value of this car is. And if you look at the total cost, the car sold for 130,065. 130,065, or 59% of the trade. The saving for this person was 91,635, and the car had 149,000 kilometers on the clock. Okay, 149,000 kilometers on the clock. And there was another car, which is a Corsa. It's called a 2021 Opel Corsa 1.2 T Elegant. This car basically has a trade value of 249,900. Basically 250,000 rand is the trade on this car. It sold for a hammer price of 137,000 rand. 137,000 rand was the hammer price for this vehicle. All right, if we include all the costs, the car sold for 160,540. 160,540. All right, which is about 64% of the trade. About 64% of the trade. That's what this car actually sold for. Alright, and the difference basically between the trade and what this person paid is 89,260, and the car had only 26,000 kilometers on the clock. Speed is new. 26,000 kilometers on the clock. No issues on that car at all. Okay, no issues on that car at all. The next car that I want us to look at was a Toyota Quantum. A Toyota Quantum. It was a 2023. It's a 2023. This is the vehicle here. All right. It's a 2023 Toyota Quantum. 2.5 D4D. The car has a trade of 425,000 rand, and it's sold for a hammer price of 280,000 rand. You add all the costs, this Quantum costs 344,310. Great price, even if I say so myself. All right, and the total basically in terms of the percentage was 81%. So this person saved about 19% on the trade, not on the retail. The retail is much higher than the trade. So on the trade they paid about 81%. So basically they saved on the trade about 80,690. You know, if you just look at that in terms of installment, that's almost close to 2,000 rand. That gift would have saved a month if they were paying the installment on this car. The mileage on this car is 99,741, 99741, below 100,000. It's a 2023 Toyota Quantum 2.5 D4D. Very popular, carries people to work and back every day on our South African roads. Okay, the next vehicle that I want to look at is a VW Polo TSI. Okay, this was a 2022. This car here, number 10. It's a 2022 VW Polo TSI with a trade value of 245,100, and it's sold for a hammer price of 100,000 rand. 100,000 rand. 100,000 rand, excluding all the costs. We include all the costs. It was 124,890, or 51% of trade. So a Polo for 100,000 rand, a TSI 2022. You really must be dreaming. There it happened at an auction. 51%. So at half the price. This person paid half the price, just over 51%. Alright? And the saving was 120,210, and the mileage was a mere 59,265. The next auction, by the way, it's on Tuesday in Durban at the workshop. It's MFC vehicles. And if you're in Bloemfontein, the next auction is on the 20th. Yeah, in fact, I think they're both next week on Tuesday. These auctions, Durban and Bloemfontein. No. Bloemfontein is on the 21st, which is a Wednesday. It's an auction for West Bank. All right. In Durban is on Tuesday. Bloemfontein is on Wednesday at Aucor. All right. I'm talking about Aucor here. There are other auctions, of course. So the next vehicle that I want us to look at after the Quantum was a 2023 Toyota Hilux GD6 Legend 50. This Legend 50 basically, it had a trade value of 602,700, and it sold for a hammer price of 450,000 rand. 450,000 rand, including all the costs, is 551,540, or 92% of trade. Not 92% of retail, 92% of trade. So this person on the trade saved about 51,000. 51,000. And the mileage on this car was like 83,969. As I said, guys, these are the things that are possible if you are actually buying a vehicle from auction. Of course, they are not guaranteed. But you know, if it is not too hectic, it's possible to actually strike deals like this. If you were to look at the videos, I'm going to post a video basically of the entire auction. You will actually pick up on the comments of the auctioneer in terms of how many of these cars that were sold in this auction actually went really for a song. You know, and you only missed out if you were not there. Because if you were there, you could have picked up the car that you want. And that's why I'm giving you the future dates. I'm giving you the dates for Durban, which is on Tuesday, the 19th. Tuesday, sorry, the 20th of May 2025. And in Bloemfontein, the following day, which is the 21st. I'm hoping to see you in those next auction. And please, if you are not subscribing, subscribe to this channel. Hit the subscribe button. And do watch the videos. There are going to be more and more videos of the auctions and more of the analysis like this one, so that you get a picture of what you're actually getting at an auction. See you in the next video.